Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Call Yamla, Adanawa Yahweh, Bashim Shamalak Yahushai, Bashim Hakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders with millstone, base citation, the hopeful elect, Shalom. And the title of this video is going to be, may title it something like, because of a whorish woman, a man lost a piece of bread, something to that effect, you know. But for the most part, I want to read Proverbs 6 and 26 and mention other scriptures that relate to that. So, Proverbs 6 and 26, for by means of a whorish woman a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. And pretty much that scripture is saying that basically you will have men nowadays that will pretty much go out their way to try to please a woman. And some of these women, they will say like they're expensive. These bitches nowadays, they be like, I'm expensive bitch, and they be saying all that type of shit, like talking like they bad and bougie. And then you have guys that will take them out on these expensive ass dates, and these bitches is like, they have too much requirements for their fucking pre-owned pussy that they basically could offer, pussy owned by other people. And there's a post that relates to what I'm saying. I saw it first I saw on Snapchat that one of my friends shared that shit, and then I saw other memes related to it. And if I see it again, I'm gonna try to search on Google, and I'll show y'all. I don't know if it showed me the exact same photo that I've first seen, but they're gonna show related photos to it. I haven't searched it up in a minute, so I don't know. And every year, these memes be changing and shit, when you search certain words up and shit. So, relating to what I'm saying. So, yeah. And then, one thing is like, you will have men, which I feel like is probably a better way to, kick your socks off, doing what you gotta do, by way of like, probably like paying for like a escort, or going to like one of those massage parlors on the low that are pretty much like areas of prostitution in a way. So you will have pretty much guys that will go out their way to pay for an hour to have sex with an escort. And honestly, I feel like that's probably better than dealing with these bitches in a way, because for the most part, when you're dealing with most of these females, you're dealing with whores anyway. She probably slept with a few guys before she talked to you. I'm just saying that at least if you're trying to deal with a female, the least you could do is at least deal with one that's low key, that don't like to be on social media that much, that don't like to always keep posting about her body, or like she don't do those type of things. You know what I mean? Those are the females to pretty much talk to. And there's some females out there that are actually that they're not really all about showing off like the rest of these bitches are. These bitches that act like they're bad and bougie, that always going from party to party, these hot girl summer bitches, yeah, those type of bitches are the ones that you should avoid at all costs. You shouldn't really, and if you are friends with one of them, at least don't really be around her that much. I'm just saying. And for the most part, yeah, what I'm pretty much want to say out of this, I'm also gonna bring like other scriptures linked with this, topic, and you can be edified with those scriptures, and with this whole lesson itself. And then another thing with a lot of these women too, is that they're pretty much promiscuous, and in the Bible they will consider them as harlots and adulterous, because you have guys pretty much too that's adulterers as well. And this is an adulterous generation that the Lord already said in in the Bible. And that's why you hear this term baby mama, baby daddy, that there's no real marriage going on. I mean, pretty much like there's so much divorce going on. That's what I'm saying, because either way, sex is marriage. But Esau will tell you marrying a woman is that you gotta go through some documents and shit and signing papers and then fucking setting up the wedding in a court or a fucking church or some shit like that. That's full of shit. When you marry a woman through your rod piercing, inside her vagina. That's how you marry a woman. Through sex, basically. And it's like these women, they hop from one dick to another, basically the term cock carousel. And, these things are already prophesied in the Bible, so we just gotta live it out for the time being. And what a lot of guys would do is that these women, they would try to please these women by way of, like I mentioned a little earlier, taking them out on dates, trying to impress their woman, putting their woman on a pedestal. Because, Esau will show you through these films on Hollywood and even cartoons as well. He will show you that that simping shit, which is trying to put women on top of you, basically. And she's going to trample you over. Because she's going to always feel like you're just an option in the end of the day that she could always run back to if shit is hard for her. And that's that wicked shit. Because they feel like all these other guys they go for, which pretty much are losers and they got nothing good going on in their life, which they're pretty much on the route of being a future jailbird. And they go for guys like that. And then it's like, when they hit the wall, they want to go for guys that look fucking, that got something good going on in their life. And the same guys they rejected at the peak of their prime, they want to run back to those guys when they hit the wall, which is pretty much disrespectful. And that's why they end up, having children for the wrong guys, and pretty much wonder why they can't get a good man, because of the dumb decisions they made for their life. And these bitches, they would be the same ones to basically have, like, like I mentioned, high requirements for guys that they deem as beta males. That he gotta have a 6-figure income. He gotta pretty much be 6 feet tall. That whole 6'6" shit. Even having a 6-pack or whatever. These bitches, they pretty much desiring too much, And it's like, they have nothing better to offer on the table. And in the ancient world, women were really supposed to serve men. And that's how it's supposed to be. Esau tell you that, oh, you should serve your woman, that you should do whatever makes her feel happy, and that you should also make her think for you. And then as well as you have pretty much guys that love that adultery shit, you have women on the other hand that are pretty much considered as adulteress, and they seek and hunt the precious life, which is pretty much guys that got something good going on in their life, and it's like they want to pretty much find a way to entrap that guy. So when we read Ecclesiastes 7 and verse, I think it's verse 26, you're gonna see that these women, the trap they're trying to put on you is child support and and alimony. That's what they're trying to do. That's how they try to entrap you. Yep. And it's like they wear the makeup, they got the wig and weave out there, trying to pretty much deceive you and thinking that they're beautiful, when in fact they're ugly as hell when they take all that shit off. But let me go into different scriptures to prove my point. Scripture says in Ecclesiasticus, the 9th chapter, verse 3, "Meet not with an harlot, lest thou fall into her snares. Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer, lest thou be taken with her attempts. Gaze not on a maid, that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her. Give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose not thine inheritance." Exactly. And one of the inheritance, obviously, you may inherit certain things like money and maybe expensive things of that nature. And then what some people will do, they may have so much money they don't know what to do with it, and it's like they don't use wisdom, so they do dumb shit. And one of the dumbest things as well is pretty much spending your money with women too much, because you have it to where like you will have some guys that will have a decent amount of money, and then they end up getting trapped by a woman, financially. And Esau already set up the system to where the woman could put you in court and pretty much charge you, for the not paying the alimony or not paying child support. So you see what I mean? And there was one time where I remember this was in college pretty much. I had gotten to know somebody, right? And it's crazy because it's like at first I was pretty much like we was pretty much friends and stuff like that, and it's like she was kind of like doing certain things for me, like kind of like making me something to eat or whatever, showing her her gratitude and stuff like that. So I'm over here thinking that, oh, she may be the one for me if she keeps us up. So she seemed like she was cool and understanding, seemed like she was supportive and shit. But I was wrong about that, and I was really surprised, because at the end of the day, I know the Lord is behind everything. Even there's people that are snakes and that come into your life to try to change you and bring you down to their low vibration, so they'll act like they're of your vibration. Yeah, I've been through people like that. I've been dealing with people like that. And honestly, like, I'm not gonna hold you, she was one of those last people I ever dealt with that was like that. And yeah, pretty much like what happened was she decided to basically I don't know, like I'll say like pretty much she decided to like deal with somebody else or whatever. Like she was just pretty much lost, and how these bitches are. And most of all, she was pretty much what you would call like the black woman or whatever. Yeah, so she was dealing with, I don't know, a dyke, and then she started dealing with another guy, and then another guy, and it's like, of course she would try to have, like, how these females would be, like, they would try to have, a couple of, what you would call, like, side niggas or whatever, guys that they would deal with on the side to see if they might be fit out for them at a certain time. Yeah, because these bitches, that's how they are. And they think that that lifestyle is, that is sweet, because Esau showed you that you could get away with these things, And mind you, these are the same women that claim they read the Bible and shit like that. And yeah, she claimed she went to church, read the Bible, all this other shit too. And it's like, I told her a little bit of the truth of the Bible, she used to kind of get offended about that, And the only reason why I did that was because pretty much like I had to come out, strong with it, because at first she was annoying me, because it's like I knew pretty much the demons that she had on her was like she had multiple personality demons. And another thing she also do is like she would pretty much kind of like annoy you and stress you out and stuff like that in a way. And it's like, this is when I pretty much gotten to know her for the next semester, pretty much, like, because the first semester I met her, I was like around the ending of the semester, so it seemed like she was like cool to deal with, as a friend, you know. And then next semester I've come to find out she's just a fake and a phony. But then it's like she was acting like that and then acting like a, basically being a two-face, acting like a good person at the same time. Like she don't know. And then it just got to the point where eventually the next semester after that, I just decided to just cut her off, you know. So yeah. So that's pretty much how it was, went. And before I cut her off, what I meant to really say was I remember one of her boyfriends or whatever, that that I seen last dealing with her or whatever, like, as with that relationship status, he mentioned that that he's losing mad money in college and shit like that. Like he used to have so much money, he complained to me about it and said that, like, damn, college making me a little broke. I'm like, most of all, he was pretty much broke dealing with that bitch, because for one, he was trying to get renties and stuff, and he's trying to, like, I don't know, impress her, because pretty much he was a dope dealer. So, and she was pretty much like what you would call like a weed whore too. So pretty much I feel like for the most part her attitude pretty much shifted from being, as what you would call like, a friend for me, to like being a little weird in a way, and still kind of acting like she's my friend at the same time. You know what I mean? Because it's like she see that I pretty much wanted to cut off, the smoking weed thing, and this was as I was being converted into the truth, pretty much. Because I was watching the videos before. This was when I was a little bit in the world, getting to understand this truth, So it pretty much got to the point where I understood it, and I decided to, like, pretty much cut off that, doing, that weed shit. So, and yeah. So basically, like, I realized that, I wasn't gonna basically lose my soul to no damn bitch. You know what I mean? Because a lot of guys, that's what they do. They give their life to a bitch, just for pre-owned pussy. They will give their whole soul for that shit. They sell out for the little things. Kind of like how Esau sold for his birthright, which was a piece of food. You got niggas out there that will sell out for little shit like that. They sell out for a woman. Yeah, they make pussy the number one priority, and then they understand pretty much get themselves in a predicament where they gotta pay, child support and alimony. They getting themselves in a financial trap, all because they put pussy over the Most High. And that's not using wisdom when you do those things. So basically, like, I know for one, like, he was complaining to me about that shit, that, that he losing money and shit. And it's like, I'm like, pretty much because you're with that nasty bitch. I didn't say that, but for the most part. But I'm like, you got all these girls out here in college, and it's like you decide to deal with this bitch that pretty much is a slut. And the funny thing is I pretty much cut her off or whatever. Well, even before I cut her off, I was dealing with some other female that seemed like she was a little bit more sincere. Even pretty much had the chance to, smash her too in college. Because she was a lot more sincere, and she pretty much like decided to deal with me than her other friends. And this was all of the Lord in the end of the day. So I know the Lord was behind this. Because sometimes, like, he knows that, like, the Lord knows that as a guy, you're pretty much looking for like a female, so He may give you one for the time being, you know. So everything is of the Lord, and for one, it's like I realized that with this girl that I was dealing with, like I was saving, what you call it. I had, I spent most of my time with her. You know, I barely even spent any money on her. The least I probably bought her was like what, flowers, or maybe we was chilling and eating at a restaurant. So, the casual shit. You know, yeah, and pretty much like bought a bottle of wine and stuff, and started drinking with shorty, and yeah, things like that. Nothing, not buying no fucking what you call it. I wasn't buying her nothing like no damn rental car, or nothing too pricey. You know, that other nigga, he was finding himself doing that shit, and it's like he's pretty much started spending mad bread, like hundreds of dollars to like pretty much thousands, like you know. I know rental cars, they be expensive if you, especially you buying that shit, pretty much like every other week, or like let's say twice or three times a month, and it's like you in school, so it's like you're not really like working or nothing. I mean, I know he's just selling dope as far as I know, and he's pretty much just like you only getting the money from the school that you're getting is through the a refund check for living off campus. But yeah, and I pretty much knew that like eventually that bitch kind of stressed them out. I don't know if they're still together or nothing, but I heard that one time he left the house because he got so pissed off that she decided to I don't know, stress him out. One of my friends told me that was a roommate for the house or whatever. He told me that like that nigga left the house one time, and this was after I decided to cut that bitch off, because I'm like because she started moving like a snake. So and I pretty much noticed it too. Yeah, because it's like it's too much of stress and a mental burden, you know. And then yeah, pretty much like I realized when it's coming to dealing with certain women, um, you know, you could lose a lot of your substances, which is mainly like money and stuff like that, because it's like most of the part, women are usually like overgrown kids, and they can't handle certain things as a man could, and this is just you know a pretty much a proven fact. They're not as logical as men, because they deal with mostly emotion. And it says in the books of Proverbs 29 verse 3, whoso loveth wisdom rejoiceth his father, but he that keepeth company with harlots spendeth his substance. Exactly. So, and this is no what you call it what it's no coincidence why, like, when you find yourself understanding this truth, why you see all these scriptures, pretty much it makes sense, with the shit that you went through in your life, and the shit that you see other people going through in their life, and you gotta also understand. I know Elder Amawan Gabar, he made that video mentioning that it's either your woman or your wisdom, and that's true, because that's something that Jake can't find himself doing. They can't find themselves like taking time off their woman, and it's like Jake is, a lot of guys are so emotional when it's coming to dealing with a woman. It's like they end up pretty much acting like a woman their damn self if they can't sleep with their woman that night. You know what I mean? And it's like, when you're a married man, you end up being so feminized. You pretty much end up being so effeminate that you forget to know what it's like to be a real man, because it's like you're giving so much to your wife, and then she pretty much has the option to divorce you, or the option to stay with you longer. And the mindset of most of these women, they may seem like um they may seem like they may be the one for now, but somewhere down the line they might just give up on you. I'm just saying that's how most of these women are. I'm just saying it for how it is. And this is the reason why you got a lot of men going MGTOW, and you got a lot of men that are what you would call like MGTOW monks, like that pretty much they will abstain from relationships with women. Some of them will go as far as that. Some of them will just go as far as to not marry. Some of them will go as far as to not date women at all. Some of them even go as far as to only deal with guys that have their mindset. And to cut off all type of guys that are blue pilled. So this thing is like, this MGTOW thing is really teaching a lot of men, and most of the men that understand this are men that pretty much went through, obviously, experiences such as like with women, doing them dirty like that, by the court system, putting men in financial traps through that type of wicked ass act of child support and alimony, and pretty much like men taking them woman out on a date, and the next thing you know, you see another guy pop her that didn't even do all that dating shit with her. Yeah. So that's how it is. And I'm gonna show the picture that I would mention about the that pre-owned pussy meme that I saw. So this is it right here. It was something. I don't think it was this. It didn't look like the same one that I first saw, but it's whatever because it still relates to the same point that I mentioned. So basically, it says right here like she wants a 6K ring, 25K wedding, 50K car, and a 500K house, and all she has to offer in return is a pre-owned pussy. Exactly. And it's beautiful to see that, people that will have like these memes to wake up, the masses, of men out there that they need to stop pretty much chasing after these women that are adulterous, and these are the same women that will bring you down low. Yeah. They will have you being a slave to them. And when it's coming to these women, there's a scripture that says that many men have been slain by her, and wounded. Strong men have been wounded. I'll bring that out. Yeah, but I know like in Proverbs 7, it's mostly talking about like the strange woman. Like it's pretty much twofold. It applies to the strange woman, and it also applies to on a physical like level. It applies to like these women as well, these modern day wicked ass women. Mainly the Babylonian woman. And pretty much because a lot of these women follow after the ways of Babylon. That's why, which is America. That's why you say Babylonian woman, and it's mainly our women that do it, more than the heathen women. So, especially starting with the black woman. And it says in Proverbs 7, verse, let's start at 25. Let not thine heart decline to her ways, go straight in her paths. Go not astray in her paths. For she hath cast down many wounded, yeah, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. Exactly. you know. And when you see a lot of these, women, it's like they cast down a lot of men financially, you know. You will hear of men being multimillionaires, and they'll have to end up paying so much to for child support and alimony to support the woman that they had married or that they had kids for, you know. And yet the court allows her to take the kids, and they allow her to do everything, you know. And what, you can only see your kid once out the damn month, or once a week or so. Yeah, that's what they do. And for the most part, since she don't want to follow after the ways of a man, of course her house is gonna be in out of order, you know, because women are not meant to rule, and that wasn't the order the Most High had it. So the Most High set men to be rulers, mostly Israelite men. So, and for the most part, this is the one of the reasons why you shouldn't go out your way to pretty much chase any woman. You know, the only woman you should chase is Sophia, which is wisdom. You know, because eventually the Most High said this, that you seek first the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yashai, and everything else shall be added unto you. So as you seek wisdom, wisdom will come to you. You know, as you seek this truth, everything else will come to you, in due time. So for all these guys out there that have put women upon a pedestal, even if she's with you for right now, it may seem like everything, but in the end of the day, it's going to be pretty much your biggest mistake. And it's going to be something that you never wanted to do. Pretty much like, it's going to be like the biggest mistake that you ever made in your life. You're going to be sadly mistaken that same woman that you married or whatever, in Jacob's trouble, she's going to be that same woman to switch up on you. It could be like that. She may just want to leave you for someone else. And things like that happen on a small scale. So if it happens now, can you imagine how much more is going to happen in Jacob's trouble? So, but anyways, I hope I made the lesson edifying. Let's give all glory, praises, honor to Adonai, Yahweh, Bashem, Shamalak, Yahweh, Shai, Bashem, Akadash, the lines of the apostles and elders, by millstone, please let's teach for that. Yahweh, Bashem, Shai, Shalak, Rayam, Adawamyam, Wa, Goyam, Wa, Ababa, Shalom.